What's up, everybody? Sean here from Air Photography. So today Insta360 has launched a brand new camera in the Go series, now called the Go Ultra, and as you can see, it's got a brand new form factor, and they've actually addressed some of the issues that people had, some concerns that people had with this camera that made it a little limiting. Most notably, they now have a memory card slot in it, so you can put a large memory card in there, so you don't have to rely on internal memory, which some people did find very limiting. Right now I've got a 512 gigabyte card in there, so it now has ample storage. Another problem that people had with the previous versions is that you cannot change the battery in it, so again, that made it very limiting. Now there's only so much they can do with it. Obviously a camera this small, you just can't really put a replaceable battery in there, but what they've done is they've added quick charging, so that means you can now have the camera module charged up to approximately 80% in about 10 minutes. So all you have to do is pop it in the action pod and it's going to go ahead and charge it up, and 10 minutes later you now have another 70 minutes worth of recording. So for a lot of people that's going to help address that issue. Just like previous models, it comes with an action pod. This essentially makes the camera function just like a traditional action camera. They've increased the back screen size, making it more usable, easier to line up shots, and easier to change settings. And just like previous generations, it folds up. That makes it easy to line up your shots if you have your camera mounted out in front of you on a bike per se, or if you're using it for vlogging. It just really makes it easier to frame shots and to adjust settings on the fly. Now, I am a really big fan of these small wearable cameras. They allow you to capture some really unique perspectives. They're minimal, so they're not cumbersome to wear, and it allows you to stay in the moment and enjoy the moment. The camera comes with a pendant, a neck pendant that easily allows you to get some chest mounted shots. It also comes with a hat clip, so again you can get some nice interesting point of view shots. This whole camera is magnetic itself, so you can easily mount it to any metal surface and get some hands-free shots. So really convenient way to capture footage on the go. Of course it supports magnetic mounting, so you can easily attach it to their magnetic mounts. Magnetic mounting is supported for both the camera module and while using it in conjunction with the action pod. Now, there's been a lot of upgrades when it comes to the specs of this camera. It now supports 4K 60, which is pretty incredible. This tiny little camera can support 4K 60. The image sensor has now been upgraded as well. It now has a 1/1.28 inch sensor that allows 200% more light in than the previous generation. That is going to really increase low light capabilities. Of course, when you're using pure shot, you can actually capture some incredible low light footage. As you can see here in this sample, it actually does a really good job. Insta360 cameras just do an incredible job in low light. Their X5, the Ace Pro 2, and now the Go Ultra. You're able to shoot in a wide variety of lighting conditions. It now even features an ambient light sensor, and that's going to help prevent flickering and allow for accurate color in a wide variety of situations. So that is definitely a nice feature as well. Now, I've talked about this in the past. One of my favorite things that I like about the Go series is its durability. There's not really a lot on it that can break. It's made of a durable plastic. Of course, we have a lens there that can be damaged, but it is removable. So if you do happen to damage it, you can easily replace it. And it also allows you to put on ND filters. And that could be great for situations where your camera could potentially take an impact. Traditional action cameras have a screen on the front, a screen on the back, which are very fragile. One drop on concrete and they can easily shatter. Something like this, there's really not a lot that could break. You'd have to have a really hard impact in order to break that plastic. And for me, sometimes I like to mount action cameras on my RC vehicles. It's another hobby of mine, and something like this works perfect in those situations because you don't have to worry about when the RC rolls over or if it flips. I know this is going to be just fine. And again, for those who fly FPV drones, this might be a good option as well. for the fact that it does record 4K 60, and it is going to offer you a nice durable solution. Now, I don't really fly traditional FPV drones. I do fly the Avata, so I'll just put this on the Avata just so you can get a feel of what that FPV footage will look like. Now, this camera is waterproof down to 33 feet. You can take this directly in the water. However, the action pod is not waterproof. It is splash proof, so it's great for water activities, days around the pool or at the beach. But if you are going to go in the water, you can only take the camera module in. Now, what's really nice about the Go series is that you can use this little camera module completely independently. It has full power, full capability, but the action pod just kind of expands its capabilities and usability. For example, I have the camera detached, and I can easily power on both just by pressing the power button there on the action pod. And now, essentially, the action pod is going to function as a remote. It gives me a live preview, as you can see there. I can change all the settings, and if I want to film vertically, all I have to do is flip the camera, and as you can see there, I'm now filming vertically for social media. And of course, then if you want a more traditional action camera experience, you just pop the camera module into the action pod. And being able to use this as a remote screen can be really handy, especially if you have this mounted on your chest and you're on a bike or doing some point of view shots. You always know that everything is framed correctly. So here is a situation where this camera comes in handy. You can see I have the action pod mounted out here in front of me. I've got the camera module on a chest mount, and we're going to go for a ride. And this way I know it's going to be lined up correctly. I know when I get back, my footage isn't going to be pointed up like that or too much down like that. I'll be able to keep an eye on it. And as things change, or if I want to change the perspective, I can easily do so. Like right there, I thought maybe it was a little too low. So now it's framed the way I like it. And audio you're hearing right now is coming directly from the camera. So we'll kind of do a little bit of an audio test out in the wind here. I just have it on normal audio. There are some settings in there for wind, but I haven't adjusted anything. And that way you can kind of get a feel, especially if you're just doing some run and gun filming. You don't have time to connect a mic. You just want to know what the audio is going to sound like, especially when there's going to be wind moving across the microphone. This will give you a good feel of what it's going to sound like. Now, one thing that's really impressed me with the Insta360 GO Ultra is the dynamic range. And perhaps you've already seen it throughout this video and some of the footage that I've shown. You can see, especially in environments like this, a tree canopy where you got little bits of sky showing through. Usually that's where cameras can struggle and the skies are completely blown out white. But you can see with some of the clips coming from the Ultra, you get nice blue skies. There's lots of detail still. Everything is exposed nicely, and that can be really hard for cameras to do, but the Ultra does a really good job. And all the footage in this video was just shot in auto. I don't have HDR on. I don't have any special settings. I usually like to capture in auto, and that way you can get a good feel of what the camera's capable of just in normal settings. Now, for those of you who are curious about size difference, you can see on the left hand side here I have the new GO Ultra. On the right hand side I have the GO 3S. Now, there's not a huge difference in size when using it in conjunction with the action pod. You can see it is slightly bigger. Now, when we compare just the camera modules, that's where you will notice some difference. But it is still a nice, small, manageable size. Now, just like the GO 3S, the Go Ultra is fully compatible with the Apple Find My app. So if you happen to lose it and you're an iOS user, you'll be able to track it down easily. Now between the quick charging, the new memory card slot, this acts more like a traditional action camera. In fact, you don't even need to use a computer or the app on a smartphone to process the content. All the 4K footage is ready to go. It's already stabilized in camera. So you can just pull the memory card out, put it into your favorite editor, and away you go. Or share it instantly. So a lot of people are going to like that. Now there are still a few modes on here, some specialty modes where you do have to bring it into the Insta360 app, but that's not even really necessary if you're not going to be utilizing those modes. Most notably free frame. Free frame is a mode that allows you just to capture, and then later on you can set the field of view and the orientation. But for just traditional 4K footage, you don't need to do that. It's going to be a great little camera for vlogging just due to the capability and the flexibility of it. It also now supports the Mic Air, so you're going to be able to connect a high quality microphone to it to get high quality audio. There's going to be a slew of new accessories that are going to help you get the most out of this camera. Different accessories to help you mount it in unique ways. And they actually have a new Ring remote. That thing is actually really handy. The problem with remotes is they work really well and they can be very convenient, but you still have to put them away somewhere. You know, if you're recording, you want to start recording, you got to pull the remote out of your pocket or out of the bag. When you're done recording, again, you got to go digging for it. But with that Ring remote, it's always attached to your finger. It's extremely minimal, easy to use, easily start and stop recording, and it's always within reach. So for some people who are looking for a remote, that might be a great solution. Now, coming up in a week or so, I'm going to make a separate accessory guide for those who are looking to expand the capability. So keep an eye out for that if that's something you're interested in. So yeah, that is a quick look at the new Insta360 GO Ultra. I'll be following up with more reviews, a long-term review once I've had more time to use it. Of course, I got a beginner's guide in the works and some other tutorials, so if this is a camera you're interested in, make sure you stay tuned for them. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it had value. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.